So as a movie collector, I think a lot about how great it is that we get so many 4K titles coming out on a monthly, yearly, whatever you want to call it basis. And we get a lot of catalog titles for sure, but new movies still come out on 4K Blu-rays, and most of the time we're wowed by the picture quality and the sound and stuff like that. And it's just really nice to see so many movies like get the 4K treatment. However, from time to time, I'm still curious about movies like in a series or just singular movies that haven't gotten a 4K treatment yet. And I think to myself, is it possible to get those movies on 4K? So this video, I'm going to talk about movies that are only out on Blu-ray or DVD that haven't been released on 4K, haven't had any sort of announcement, no hint on any announcement or anything like that, that I feel like should be out on 4K by this point. Because I'm sure a lot of you are movie collectors too, and you think about the same thing too. A favorite movie of yours, or a favorite movie series or anything like that, or even a movie that you just casually enjoy. You wonder, why is this just limited to just the old, sometimes crappy Blu-ray release? Why isn't this getting a brand new treatment, a brand new transfer with, all the stuff, all the goodies that come with it? So I went through my collection and I found some Blu-rays that I think should definitely get some sort of 4K release in the future. But let me know in the comments section at the end of the video what you guys want to see. Because I know for a fact, besides the ones that I have here, there are a lot more out there that a lot of people want to see come out. So the first one that I'm going to mention, I actually don't own a Blu-ray copy of it. I only own a DVD copy of all these movies, and I didn't get a chance to look through my DVDs to find it. But that is the Peter Sellers Pink Panther collection. I love most of these movies. A lot of people do. The last one that he did, the one that was made after he died, wasn't that great. But all the other ones are, in my opinion, classic comedy gold. And we did get a pretty impressive Blu-ray set from Shout Factory when it came out, but that Blu-ray set has been out of print for years. I'm not kidding. You have to go to eBay to find a copy for like $300, $400, sometimes $700 just to find a copy. It's that hard to find and that out of print. And that sucks for people who are fans of the franchise like myself. I feel like the movies would benefit greatly from a new 4K transfer. Go back to the original camera negative, give it a nice clean 4K scan, make the movies feel alive again. And that could be a good way to introduce younger audiences to the Pink Panther movies besides just the Steve Martin ones. And with the news of a new Pink Panther movie with Eddie Murphy coming out, I think this is a great opportunity to go back to those original movies and give them all nice transfers. I would love to see that. It's definitely would be better than the old crappy MGM DVD set that I do own. So the next ones I'm going to talk about technically do have 4K releases, but not to what fans really want from it. And that is the original Star Wars trilogy. Now, yes, the original Star Wars trilogy did get 4K releases from like the Disney Plus transfers that they did, the ones that were on Disney Plus. But I'm not talking about those, the George Lucasified ones, the ones that are nowhere near the quality, in my opinion, as the original releases are. No, I'm talking about the original uncut Star Wars trilogy. These are bootlegs that I have, and it's the despecialized edition and the 4K projects that came out. And these benefited so nice from what these fans did for the original unaltered trilogy. They gave the 4K projects their 35mm prints that they scanned on 4K, cleaned it up in 4K, rendered it out on 4K, and they look great. Sure, they're pretty grainy, but they're from a film print that was constantly played in theaters, so of course you're going to run into issues like that. And they didn't have the money to actually clean these up as perfectly as, say, like a studio released version was, but these releases go to show that the original unaltered trilogy could look amazing in 4K if they could do it. But Lucasfilm has constantly said they don't want to do it, or they don't see a need for it, down to George Lucas still being stubborn about not wanting them out there. But I just hope one day, when I'm still alive, we can get proper releases of the original unaltered trilogy. Because for a lot of Star Wars fans, including myself, that's the version that they grew up watching. Maybe we'll get it one day, but I am not the only one that has said that they really want to see them on 4K. The next movie I'm going to talk about, I'm actually pretty surprised that it doesn't have a 4K release, and that's Troy. This is a big, epic movie that a lot of people love, including myself. I've loved this movie since I saw it in high school. And yet, for some reason, this is the best release that it has. It's Blu-ray release, which granted, it is a decent Blu-ray, and I'm sure a lot of people still own the old DVD version. But it's not like this is from a studio that, like, doesn't have the rights to it or anything like that. This release is from Warner Brothers, who I'm pretty sure owns the movie, so I don't understand why this isn't put out on 4K. Maybe there is some legal issues to it that I don't know about, but can you imagine what Troy would look like on 4K? Oh, I guarantee you it would look amazing. And this movie has such a big following, so I can definitely see this getting a 4K release. I'm just surprised it hasn't by this point. And maybe a boutique label will pick it up, maybe Arrow Video. I could see this getting an Arrow Video release with like a hard box and all, like the booklet and the posters and stuff like that, with a nice clean transfer. Hopefully we get it soon, because I really think this could benefit from it. The next two are Quentin Tarantino movies, and that is The Hateful Eight and Django Unchained. These are great looking Blu-rays. These are great movies. I think The Hateful Eight is streaming on 4K on Netflix. I could be wrong about that, but if that's the case, why is it not on 4K disc? Can you imagine both of these movies on 4K? I think they could look great. I know for some reason Quentin Tarantino movies can be hit and miss on 4K. I know a lot of people didn't like the Inglourious Bastard 4K release or the Kill Bill 4K releases, but people loved the Jackie Brown 4K release, the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and even the Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction 4K releases. Most of them do look great, but there are some out there that fans really love that, from what I've heard, didn't get that great of transfers. However, I think there's something about these two that could really benefit from a 4K release. I mean, if this is all we have for a number of years, I'd be okay with it, because like I said, these are great looking Blu-rays, but these could pop on 4K. Now, this next one I can definitely see getting a 4K release soon, because it's from a boutique label that is constantly putting out older catalog titles that they have on 4K, and that's A Night to Remember. Now, this is owned by the Criterion Collection, and Criterion Collection is killing it with 4K transfers. Everything that they've been doing is just top-notch quality. A Night to Remember would benefit greatly from a 4K transfer. And you're probably thinking, it's a black and white movie. How can that benefit from a 4K transfer? Black and white 4Ks can look absolutely stunning. One of my favorite 4K transfers is Psycho, and that's a black and white movie. I put off buying that movie on 4K for a while because I thought the same thing. It's a black and white movie. What could that benefit from a 4K transfer with HDR color grading? It benefited from it greatly, and it is the best the movie has and will ever look. And since this is considered a fan favorite when it comes to Titanic movies, I think that this could pop just as well as the Psycho 4K. If Criterion still owns the rights to it, I really hope they do it soon, because not only is this a great movie, but it could look amazing with a 4K transfer. The next one, I am surprised that we haven't gotten it by this point, because all the other movies in this franchise have gotten great 4K releases, and that's Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2. What's going on with these two? Because I've heard so many things about why these two movies have not gotten 4K releases. I've heard stories from, like, Rob Zombie doesn't like the 4K format, so he doesn't want to put his movies out on 4K, to Lionsgate owns the rights, so when Scream Factory put out the other releases on 4K, they couldn't get the rights to this one, so it's just stuck in the Lionsgate limbo of whether it's coming out on 4K or not. I've heard a few different stories, and I know these movies aren't like fan favorites when it comes to the Halloween franchise. These are the theatrical editions. These are the editions I watch more. I would like to see the unrated versions get 4K releases as well, but I don't know what's going on with it. There's whatever issues that they got going on with it, I would love to see, because I have all the Halloween 4Ks. I even have I have 2 Steelbook releases of the new trilogy, because one of them is like that tin box set that came out. They all look really good to great on 4K, so I'm pretty sure even as grimy as these two movies are, they would look good on 4K too. And so I know they're not fan favorites, but I do know fans of the franchise want that 4K collection complete. I know I would, so maybe something will happen in the next handful of years or so, but I'm surprised with how great the other Halloween releases sold that they didn't jump on this right away. So hopefully we get it soon, because I would like to see what these look on 4K. That leads into my next one, which is the exact same thing. It's owned by Lionsgate, and that's Scream 4. We've gotten all the other Scream movies on 4K steelbooks from 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. But yet, for some reason, Scream 4 doesn't have a 4K release. And with Lionsgate being known for their 4K steelbooks, they have amazing 4K steelbooks. Not only do the movies look great, but the packaging is phenomenal too. I could see them doing that for Scream 4. Scream 7's just around the corner. There's already talks of a Scream 8. From what I heard, they're already discussing possible Scream 8 ideas, so there's still movies coming out in the franchise. Why not put this out on 4K? This Blu-ray looks terrible. It has never looked great, and I feel like a 4K transfer can get rid of all of those issues that this Blu-ray has. Lionsgate, whoever owns the rights to this, because this does say Weinstein Company on it, but I'm sure I heard Lionsgate is the one that owns this now. Please do us fans a favor and put this out already. Another one that I'm shocked hasn't gotten a 4K release at this point, but this one, there might be some controversial issues with this coming out. I can definitely see that as being the issue if it hasn't already. But with the new Superman movie out in theaters and the fact that we've had every single Superman movie on 4K now at this point, the live action theatrical movies at this point, why hasn't Superman Returns come out on 4K? Similar to the Halloween movies, I know this isn't like a favorite amongst fans. A lot of people seem to see this as the forgettable Superman movie. But then again, we have Superman 3 and 4 on 4K. If those can get decent 4K releases, why not Superman Returns? More people have come around to liking this movie, so I guarantee you it would sell decently. The fact that it's a Superman movie could guarantee that it would sell. And plus, similar to Scream 4, this Blu-ray looks really, really bad. It's very yellow and greenish tone to it. It's never looked right. The trailers looked better when it comes to how this movie looked. Go back to that source, give it a nice 4K transfer with nice HDR color grading, and this movie could look great. They did a similar thing to Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. This had a terrible Blu-ray release, but yet they went back to the 4K transfer, recolor graded, and now it looks like the original Indiana Jones movie, which is what they were trying to go for when the movie came out in theaters and failed miserably. Now, though this isn't a very good movie, at least it looks good. It's watchable on that sense. I can see that happening with Superman Returns. But like I said, there's some controversial issues that I could see be part of the issue if it is the case. This movie was directed by Bryan Singer, who was not a very well-liked person in the film industry anymore because of certain things that have come out about him. And the fact that Kevin Spacey is in this movie as Lex Luthor, those two alone, I can definitely see Warner Brothers being like, we don't want to touch that movie right now. Understandably so if that is the case, but if that's not the case, and they're like, we don't care about that, we don't want to associate with them, but that's not the reason why. If that's not the reason why, then what is the reason why? That was just my rant. It's over now, but I definitely could see this getting a 4K release, especially, like I said, with the new Superman movie out in theaters, killing it at the box office. I would love to see this come out. Another classic movie that's out there is The Never-Ending Story. We have been limited to just this Blu-ray release, and it's just been repackaged over and over again. I know there's a 4K release over in Germany that people say looks terrific. It looks great, but I did hear that they made some changes to the movie. I don't know how true that is, but I did hear that they made some changes to the movie with that 4K release. So if it can get a 4K release over in Germany, then, why is it not out on 4K here? Again, this Blu-ray was put out by Warner Brothers, so I could see them putting it out, especially with how much people love this movie. I actually haven't watched this movie on Blu-ray, so I don't know what the Blu-ray is like. I've only seen the movie once when I was younger, and that was on TV. But from what I heard, this Blu-ray is fine, but it definitely needs an update. I can't speak for myself, that's just what I heard about the movie, but you know, with how many people love this movie, I'm shocked that it isn't out on 4K here in the US. So if Warner Brothers still is holding on to this title, come on, clean it up and give us a nice 4K release. It would really sell. This one would definitely sell. So I'm sure with this movie, most people have forgotten about this movie, but for me personally, I would love so much to see the 2003 remake of Peter Pan on 4K. I loved this movie as a kid. I still love it as an adult. I go back to it every now and then, and it's still a ton of fun to watch. And I've been watching this movie since it came out on VHS. I wore out my VHS copy to death. I got a DVD copy of it. I watched that constantly, and I finally, like 7 years ago, whatever it was, got it on Blu-ray, and it looks good on Blu-ray. I will say, it does look pretty good, but this movie really needs an update. The Blu-ray came out in 2011, and while the picture looks good, it looks clean, the colors are way overblown. The colors need to get toned down a lot with HDR color grading, but you do that, you give it a nice transfer, a nice 4K scan, I think this movie could visually be stunning on 4K. And considering it's the best live-action Peter Pan adaptation, I'm not talking about that one, I think that this could be a stunning movie on 4K. For this next one, I can see this coming out on 4K now that Disney has made a deal with Sony for Sony to put out their catalog titles on 4K, and that's Fantasia. Can you imagine how Fantasia would look and sound on 4K? I'm not talking about Fantasia 2000 with this one. I didn't care for that movie, and I know a lot of people don't really care for it, so I'm just talking about the original Fantasia for this. But can you imagine a nice 4K scan from the original camera negative with HDR color grading and a nice new sound mix? Oh man, I get excited just thinking about how this could look on 4K. And since it's gonna be done by Sony now, if Sony is actually actively working on it, it could be a contender for one of the best 4K transfers ever. Not only is it a fantastic movie, it could be a fantastic 4K release. The Blu-ray still looks pretty good. I'm actually impressed with how great this Blu-ray looks, but that just little extra step to 4K, I think could make wonders with this movie. And lastly, I'm gonna group these last few together because they are part of the same franchise, and very similar to Fantasia, they're owned by Disney now. So Sony, with their partnership with Disney, we could definitely see this in the future, and that is the Die Hard sequels. Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, and Live Free or Die Hard. I'm not going to include A Good Day to Die Hard because I'm sure if they were to put it out, this would be included too, but I guarantee you no one cares about that movie. So I'm only going to talk about these movies, but because these are the favorites of the franchise. Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, and Live Free and Die Hard. We have the first Die Hard movie on 4K, and that is great. That is a great looking 4K. I watched it this past Christmas because it's one of my favorite Christmas movies, and I was surprised. I was really surprised with how great it looked. And while these Blu-rays look good for what they are, very similar to a lot of the movies I have from this list, while the Blu-rays look good, they can take it that extra step and give us a really great experience watching these movies, especially with Live Free or Die Hard with its unrated cut. Unless you bought this Blu-ray set right here, you have to watch the unrated cut of this movie on DVD. And I'm sorry, I didn't buy that Blu-ray set when it came out because I owned these, so I didn't need to buy another Blu-ray set. So when I found out that the unrated cut was on Blu-ray here, the prices went up on it, and I missed my chance to get it. So if we get 4Ks with these, I would love to see the unrated cut of Live Free or Die Hard in nice HD 4K quality instead of DVD quality. But yeah, with how popular this franchise is, I would I would place bet that we could see the Die Hard sequels come out on 4K from Sony in the future. Alright, so that's it, guys. That's all that I have for right now. Like I said, there's probably a lot more Blu-rays out there that fans are just like hoping for to come out on 4K. I know there's a couple more that I had on this list that had since gotten 4K announcements at this point. Like, for example, the 2006 remake of Poseidon. I think that movie could look great on 4K, but it's coming out from Arrow in a few weeks. And the biggest one that a lot of movie collectors are talking about is Day of the Dead, the original from George Romero. That was on this list, but then I took it off because just recently they found the original camera negative, and Scream Factory is putting it out on 4K. So that's going to be a day one pre-order for me, as I'm sure it's going to be for a lot of you. So new titles are still coming out on 4K. It's just a matter of time with some of these titles. There could be rights issues like the Pink Panther movies, or it just could be because they just haven't done it yet. Whatever your thoughts on all of these are, let me know in the comment section below, and let me know in the comment section what you guys want to see come out on 4K. Maybe we might see it in the near future. So thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like and share it. Subscribe right here if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, take care.